everyone. Welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast. I think this is episode 5 of the new season. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's episode 5. We have a lot of in-between conversation pieces, but welcome back to the podcast, guys. I am your host, as always, Nathaniel Rufflejans, Mr. Nintendo Prime. Across the table from me is Eric Moore.
Hello.
My best friend and co-host. And then up on the giant TV, if you are watching on the video version, is Miss Holly Wolf.
Hello.
So, for those who might not know who Holly Wolf is, because I have no idea what audience crossovers are like and all of that, she is a gamer, she is a live streamer, she is a cosplayer, she is a former Playboy Playmate, all these things. It gets a little dicey sometimes. I don't want all you young kids out there fapping away. She is she is a spoken for woman.
Oh Lord.
She is spoken for. Be respectful.
Oh my.
I'm sure you've dealt with plenty of that stuff over the years.
So much.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Unfortunately, my dad bod over here isn't doing it for the ladies right now, so it's okay.
No.
I'm also spoken for, so it doesn't really matter. All right. So we got a couple cool conversations, and I actually want to start off by talking about cosplay because we've never really had anyone on the podcast that specifically does cosplay. So it's kind of like an interesting scene because the only time I've personally seen any cosplayers in person are at events like E3. Otherwise, I don't even have a lot of experience with it. I just kind of enjoy from afar. One of your favorite cosplays for me, it was the Breath of the Wild Zelda one that you did.
Yes.
It's my favorite game of all time. And I just think like, your face is like the perfect face for Princess Zelda. So
wow, thank you. I remember cosplaying Zelda. I was really scared to do it the first time because like it means a lot to me. So I was really, really, really picky. And oh my God, I remember people on my video who worked really hard for. We even had a friend of mine like do all the vocals herself for the song and everything, like Zelda's Lullaby. But I remember a few people in the comments being like, this woman looks too old to be Zelda. She can't be in her 20s or in her teens or whatever. And I was just like, ouch. Okay, and so thank you. I know, right? People are so mean. But yes.
What guys, it's cosplay. Yeah. You can't expect someone to transform to a younger version of themselves.
Right, if only.
And like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a guy in my mid-30s, but it didn't bother me at all. Like, I don't look
Thank you.
I don't look at Princess Zelda like as, oh my God, it needs to be this teenage chick. I'm like, nah, it's cool.
I feel like it'd be weirder.
Your face is perfect. I've loved your cosplay of it. And I've seen a lot of Zelda cosplays over the years because I used to run websites like Zelda Informer back in the day. And I used to run in the same crowd as Game Over Jesse. That's how I ended up getting to know who you were back when you used to do the Hylian Gamescast a lot more often. So like, it's just an interesting scene to me. So explain to me, like, I've always been curious about this part. What like, what do you enjoy most, I guess, about being a cosplayer? Because I like dressing up on Halloween, but this is like Halloween, but
on steroids.
Pretty much anytime you want.
Okay. Ooh, well, I don't know. It's so weird because I really love taking a good photo. So for me, it's the end product. It's getting all of these things together and doing all this work and then finally getting to actually wear the costume and take beautiful photos. And I love my Zelda cosplay so much too. Like, as I'm sure you guys know, I do a lot of sexier cosplays, like a lot of very physique, sexy girls, which I love. But for me as a person, I really, really love the very like elegant, beautiful, scenic type shots. So like when I first did Zelda, that's what we did. We did very sad scenic shots because obviously like Breath of the Wild is a destroyed Hyrule. So I found a place that looked like that, and I was just so excited, and seeing the photos after and kind of just getting the feelings of what happens like in a certain game in a photo is my favorite part, I would say. Like, so yeah, like the end production I love I love so much. Yeah.
So you do make most like all your own costumes, right? I think I've seen some streams with you making some sometimes.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of 50-50 for me. So I love cosplaying latex as a material. I don't make any of my latex cosplays. It's something that I have no idea how to work with. I make to work with. It's just its own fabric, and you need to know what you're doing, right? For me, I tend to make a lot of my own props, a lot of my own armor. But so, for example, like with my Zelda cosplay, I had someone make me that because I wanted it to be perfect. And I'm not the greatest seamstress, like I'm really not. But I made like my Sheikah slate that lit up, and I did the boots and everything for her. So it depends, really. I did some of the middle section too, but I later had it redone by someone who does corsets because I wanted it to look better. I wasn't happy with it, so I actually had it redone. So it all depends, really. And because I do cosplay professionally now, I tend to split it even more because the internet is very fast, right? You cosplay something and people are like, that's great, but what's next? Right? It's just like any sort of content. People watch a YouTube video or they watch a podcast and they're like, well, that's cool, but like, what are you doing now? Right? Yep.
That's what literally happens at the end of every episode. Like, that was a great one. When's the next one? It's like, next week.
Let me film it. Oh my goodness, right? So for me, cosplay, some cosplays are like 50 to 100 hours of work. So I have to pay people and commission people to do wigs for me or certain cosplays, and then I work on other parts, or they do a full cosplay for me and I make another one. So it just gets done faster. Otherwise, like, I'd put out one every 2 months and that's it. And people would probably never want to see my content again because it wouldn't be as much of it. But you know what I mean? People are, my God. Yeah. If you're not pumping out something new constantly.
I have to have a new video every day or people stop watching.
Yeah. Exactly. You're forgotten. It's like, oh, thanks.
To a certain extent, people don't understand the time and effort that goes in behind the scenes. All they see is
not at all
the 30-minute video, the 15-minute video, and they think, oh, you just recorded for 15 minutes and you're done, or
oh my gosh, there was someone. So this podcast, there was someone who emailed me and said, I really like your podcast, but looks pretty easy. And I just sat there. I'm like, do you even like just building the set?
Right.
Let alone building the set. Yeah, now that the set is built, it's a little easy, but like that's just the recording part. Then in editing, like there's sometimes we talk about certain games and I put game trailers in, so then there's special editing I do for that where I split us up into 3 different videos off of one video feed. That takes some time to do. You have background layouts. You have audio leveling. I mean, that is a pain in the butt in that of itself in video editing. And just all these little minute things, color correction. Sometimes, like right now, technically our video feed is like slightly crooked, so then I gotta fix that in post. And so like you guys don't see any of this stuff. You just see the end product. And
exactly. Same with cosplay. I remember I went and I scouted locations before I shot my Zeldas. Sometimes you have to travel to locations. Sometimes I shot Aerith from Final Fantasy VII, and I shot it, and I wasn't happy. And I flew to LA, and I reshot it.
Nice.
Because I wasn't happy. And so I spent hundreds of dollars to reshoot it and find a photographer last minute and redo my wig because I wasn't happy with the hairline. Aerith has a really interesting hairline, and I just wasn't happy. So I spent an extra like 3 days. I was on an airplane like, hey, are you free tomorrow? I really need this done. Yeah. So like people, they don't see that. Obviously.
Yeah, and I think that's lost.
Everything's a lot.
So as someone who is like probably most people who watch your cosplays or follow you on social media and check out all that stuff, I think sometimes that there's not always an appreciation for the art form that goes behind it. Because as you're describing right now, like, anyone can dress up and get photos taken. right? Whether they're sexy photos in lingerie or whether you're cosplaying certain characters, trying to present certain scenes. But you're someone that really cares about the art of it all. Like, you're not just good with, just take a picture of me anywhere. No, I need good lighting. I need good scenery. I scout. I care about what the final product looks like, because I think there are, by the way, I mean, I'm sure you're aware, there's plenty of women out there that do some similar things that I don't feel like they care as much about the artistry of it. And you can kind of see the difference, in my opinion at least, between the people who cosplay and really care about the artistry of it versus the ones that are just kind of doing it just for attention. Sometimes there's just bad lighting, or like the hairline will be slightly off. Like I saw a cosplay of that same character from Final Fantasy VII by another cosplayer. I'm not going to call them out specifically, but like the hairline wasn't even close, and they clearly just didn't care. And they're okay to take some creative liberties, of course, but it was kind of one of those. Did you just like wake up in the morning, put your thing on, and take a Snapchat photo or something?
Well, I feel like it's interesting because I feel like everyone can be a little different when it comes to that type of stuff. There's certain characters that I'll cosplay because people really want me to cosplay them, and I'll just do it and I'll kind of get it over with. And I'm like, this character's great, but it's not something that I am personally extremely attached to. So when I am very attached to a character, my brain goes into like a different mode. And if I don't get what I want in a photo, I do it until I do get what I want in a photo. And I reshoot it with new photographers, or I go and I find better locations, or I do it again. It's really interesting. I don't know if everyone's like that, right? But for me, I've been cosplaying for a while, but I've been modeling and I've been in the art world for longer. I went to school for classical animation. My sister went to school for classical animation. I went to school for musical theater. I have my bachelor's in musical theater. I studied singing, acting, dancing. I was in a dance company for years. I also did stunt work on TV and film. And so I've been like in this kind of creative medium for a very long time. I've just slowly kind of changed where I am within it. But for me, it's just like, I've been doing it for so long that I want things to be a certain way. Sure. And I have the means to do it now, so why would I not, right? Like, as a cosplayer who might just be starting out, you may not have those resources.
Right.
And it can just be harder. But for me now, I am fortunate enough that I can just go somewhere and shoot something if I want. Like, literally fly to a different country because I want to shoot this here and I want it to be as accurate as possible. And I can do that, which is crazy, like, to even think about.
Right.
But I do it.
I think it also has to help, though, with your modeling background, that you kind of have the eyes for, photography. You've seen probably, thousands of pictures in your lifetime and taken thousands.
Of me and of everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
And have taken thousands of photos, just by yourself. So to have that eye too, whereas somebody getting into it may not have that knowledge, may not, I suppose that kind of helps out too.
Yeah, no, I can go through a set of myself, like hundreds of photos. I can go through a set of myself and pick out like 20 images in like 15 minutes. I can narrow things down to what I personally think looks amazing and looks accurate, or whatever it is, looks flattering for myself, super fast. I tend to pick out all my edits, like the photographers send me all the selections, or I'm self-shooting a lot right now. For example, yesterday and the day before, I self-shot a cosplay, and I send them out to be edited because I don't have that much time to edit all my own content, but I send them to my photographers to edit. But I flip through all the images and just go, yep, nope, and it's like crazy fast, and it's because I've looked at my own face for far too long, and I know what looks good and what doesn't.
It's kind of like,
funny.
I mean, this is on a much smaller scale, but it's kind of like when I do a Snapchat photo, I know raising the phone up a certain angle, I look good. Straight on, it doesn't look quite as good. It's just something. I mean, that's just something you just, anyone who's taken, social media like photos and trying to send it to people and look good, like, you kind of know certain angles and filters that people like to use that can make you look good. So yeah, that's. I mean, I'd always find the whole cosplay scene just really interesting, because I mean I'm a guy, so I'm on the guy side of things, and I see.
Okay.
I mean, there's tons of great male cosplayers out there, by the way, guys.
God, yes.
There's some amazing ones out there. I mean, we've seen them at E3. They're just rocking.
Yep.
But like, it's always interesting because one thing I notice in the industry, from just a fan perspective, is that always bothers me anyways. Is I you know we've been to E3 4 times?
Something like that, 3-4 times, yeah.
And I'll just notice there's like certain, I guess, stereotypes, I suppose, about cosplayers and about men in general, where they're just kind of staring and oogly eyeing. And I always wonder, like, from your perspective, obviously someone who likes to be in the sexier side and is confident in your own sexuality and your beauty, like, does that kind of stuff bother you? Like when you just have a lot of people at public events kind of ogling you, and maybe, I mean, I don't know what else they might do. You probably have your own horror stories, but.
I mean, I definitely have horror stories, yes, many of them. But I would say, just when it comes to people looking or admiring me for whatever reason, whether it's, strictly body parts or whatever, I really don't care.
That's good.
I think you have to become obviously aware, but just okay with people looking at you and staring at you and stuff like that. But it's obviously a much different story if, they come up to you and touch you, call you pet names.
I've seen some dudes.
You know what I mean? So it's very, oh my gosh. I modeled all over the world. I've worked with Playboy, with Maxim. Like, I was with like Leonardo DiCaprio and Naomi Campbell in France for the Cannes Film Festival. I had the same security as Paris Hilton when she was doing her tour, when she's DJing more. Like, I have been in crazy situations. And I think the funny thing is, all of those things and situations with like amazing people and clubs and events have really made me as a person take no crap from anyone. So I see a lot of cosplayers that the second somebody kind of touches them or makes them uncomfortable, is acting inappropriate, I can see them like shut down. They don't know what to do. I am literally the opposite. I am like, don't you touch me. And it throws people off.
I'm sure it does, because because a lot of the cosplayers I've seen in person, like, you could tell, like, they get uncomfortable when the awkward situations come up that they don't know what in reality shouldn't happen, but people are people, and they do things that they shouldn't do, and you can't control how they act, but you can control how you react to it. And it's something I always feel bad about when I see it happen. Because I've seen it happen to a lot of females in person anyways. I've seen it happen where they just get like almost like discouraged, and I don't want like them to run from the meet. I mean, ultimately, if you can't handle that, you can't handle that. I understand that, but
it's a lot, obviously, and as someone who has dealt with it in different forms for so long, it took me a while too. I've even had men like be super creepy at like a friend's booth next to me, talking about like, her butt or whatever in photos and prints that she's selling like as a guest, as a cosplayer. And you could see them. They didn't know how to deal with it. Security can't, a lot of men don't pick up on hints from women that they're like kind of
uncomfortable,
not okay with situations. Right. And I've literally had to pull men over. I'm like, oh, you like booty? Come here. You like this? I shot this here. Oh my goodness, this was crazy. Like, talking about my body parts literally would make a man walk away with like $200 worth of prints because I was comfortable talking about my body to him and answering his questions when somebody else wasn't. And I'd make them go away. That, come to me and be like, I'll take your money.
Yeah, some of what people are looking at is like, hey, they are looking at your body parts. They are really into it in a way, and they're willing to spend money. So
and I just help them by making them get out of that uncomfortable situation, right?
And then
making sure they're okay. Yeah. And then being like, oh,
no, you're not
this
comfortable
type,
with them looking at the booty. Well, come here, see this booty.
Yeah, I'll get you out of that situation, and I'll make them
$25. It's pretty great,
right?
Yeah, literally. And I'm like, are you okay? Was that a bit much? Like, I understand.
Like, don't touch me. Look, it's cool.
Yeah.
Here, you can take this home with you. Look at it all the time. I don't care what happens once you leave. I got your money.
Yeah, that's something I get asked a lot, actually, is like, do you care what people do when they think about you? And I'm just like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Well, it's not like
people do
you're an adult
over anything.
Literally anything.
I don't want to know.
You know, when you're out in the world, and you have people that like sometimes get turned on by animals and stuff. It's like, you know what? People do what they do. It's up to them.
I just don't want to know.
No.
If they want to pay me, great. But like, they ain't doing it with me in person. I'm good.
Literally.
Privacy of your own home. Do whatever you want. You know.
Exactly. All good.
I mean, well, the thing is, you know, people always act like, and this is a stereotype that comes up because, you know, men obviously tend to not always respect the boundaries. I feel as much. As I see, I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to a male cosplayer in person, but I've seen male cosplayers. But I guess I would just more at events that have more men than females to really know if they also go through that. Because the only time I've seen males seem to be subjected to stuff like that is when they literally put themselves in that situation, like a male stripper. Obviously, they expect the woman to touch them and think certain things are going to happen because that's the job, that's the profession. They're trying to make money in that way. So I always feel like, you know, everyone across the board does things in the privacy of their own home over different things. Let them be. Let them be them. As long as it's not something that's like illegal. Let them be them, you know? Yeah.
But just, and when you're out in public and everything like that, just, don't touch anyone.
Yeah.
and
I mean, this is just a general rule, guys. Like, guys, girls, unless they invite you to specifically touch them, don't do it. And I know it can be hard because most people aren't going to come right out and say, hey, grab my butt. Well, let me tell you, you probably can't grab their butt.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you'll know. Okay, I've been at bars when I was single and flirting with women, and you want to know how I knew I could, you know, maybe put my arm on them somehow? Because they put my arm on it for me.
Yeah.
It's like, they're like, if they're into you, you'll know. Otherwise,
women are pretty forward that way. I must confess.
If you're afraid to talk to them and you're like oogling them, let me tell you, you're probably not welcome to touch them.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing that out there. Women will be pretty forward about it. Just because a woman, and this is another thing I say, a woman, man, anything, just because they dress sexy, doesn't give you permission to do anything. Permission to look fine. If they're
that's why you got.
Fine, but.
That's why you got all of a sudden, right? All the conventions are popping up with the signs that say cosplay is not consent, right? It was this whole thing that had to start because
people think because you dress a certain way, it's consent. It's like consent to look, not anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I don't know. People are weird, but it's hard for me to imagine, you know, being part of that scene if I would ever be comfortable with it. But then again, you know, it's something you get used to. You know, you've been all over in the industry, dealt with a lot of different things. So for you, it's a lot more unique situation than it might be for some other cosplayers that maybe haven't had all those experiences. To get that comfortable in their body and to get that comfortable with the way people are going to look at you and realize, hey, you know, I can make some money off of this, but at the same point, I will set the limits. I will stick to those limits. I'm not afraid to tell a guy off. It doesn't matter. Oh my God, they might be someone who will buy $500 in prints. I don't care. They touch me. Get away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Totally.
It's not worth it.
Not okay.
Not okay. Anyways, talk more about games because obviously you are a gamer. I know one of your recent streams you played Genshin Impact.
Oh my gosh. I am obsessed with Genshin Impact. I don't know. It's just like, okay, I'm a huge Zelda girl.
Yep.
Huge Zelda girl. And for me, it's just like filling that void until I wait for Breath of the Wild 2. I would like some more news on that.
Yeah.
By the way.
I think we all
Noma did say there was going to be news on that this year, so.
Yes.
We'll see.
That's good.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
Same.
One game I can suggest to you, I don't know if you've checked it out yet, if you really like Zelda games a lot, which I already know you do, because I literally used to turn in on every episode of Game Over Jesse's podcast you were on, because I loved your Zelda takes. Like, oh, it was great. Like I've heard Jesse talk for like 15 years about Zelda. All right, there's nothing he's going to say I haven't heard. Just to be completely honest, but so it's nice to get other perspectives. So a game that I really got into towards the end of last year that has a nice Zelda feel to it is actually Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
Someone mentioned that recently.
It's an Ubisoft game. And it plays a lot like Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
So does Genshin Impact in a way too, but like this one really, and it's got kind of a comedy aspect to it.
Okay.
Greek mythology and all that. It's really an interesting take, but like it's got all that classic Zelda combat, the puzzles. It's really good. I've been recently getting back into it because I never finished it, and now they have new DLC out for it.
I see. Okay.
But I'm like, anyone who's a big Zelda fan, I'm always like, I'm telling you, give it a chance. I know sometimes Ubisoft games aren't all they're cracked up to be, but this one, it was made by a small team on the side, and it is really good. And the DLC, the DLC that just came out is basically like an entirely new game. You play as a completely new character. You go into Chinese mythology.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
Yeah, so it's really cool, and I can't wait. I'm hoping like one of the DLC packs will be Japanese, because I'm all into that Japanese culture. So that'd be really cool to get.
Okay.
Anyways, I want to throw that out there. Like, anyone who's a Zelda fan, I'm like, hey, have you played this? I'm just telling you. I don't work for Ubisoft. They're not paying me. I don't have any. I did at one point. I did a promo. I did an acting promo for the original Watch Dogs. Oh, sure.
Oh, nice.
Years and years and years ago. Yeah, that was fun. I used to do a lot of stuff for acting that involved like video games and everything. Kind of before. I had this weird period in my life where I was working so much to get through college and school and everything that I just didn't really play video games for several years. And then when I was modeling and I kind of got to work for myself a little bit, that's when I like was able to dive like back into video games as much as I wanted to. So there's a point in my life where I think I like skipped a lot. It's really good things, unfortunately.
It happens to be like I have a PlayStation 5 right now, and I literally have not played like PlayStation ever in my life. There's so much I missed.
Well, see, I was a Nintendo child.
Yep, same.
I was Sega, and then Nintendo, and that was it. We had like an N64, and a Sega Genesis, and we never got a PlayStation because we had Nintendo systems, right?
If you were Nintendo back then, nope.
Exactly. It's like, oh, we have a system. We're getting the games on the system. So I grew up playing Nintendo games, and I would watch my friends. I would go to my friends' houses, and they'd have like a PlayStation, and so I'd see them playing like certain games and everything, but it just never really interested me. It wasn't until I had like I think a PlayStation 2. My brother got me Final Fantasy 7 for Christmas one year. He's like, I think you would like this. And I was like,
you are correct,
yes. Yes. And that was like my introduction into Final Fantasy, which I'm also a huge fan of. So yeah, it was really interesting. But for me, nostalgia wise, it's wait, what?
Yeah. I have the remake downloaded on my PlayStation 5 because they had it on PS Plus. But I've literally never played it. I played Final Fantasy 1 through 6. It went to Sony, and I never had a Sony platform. So I just never played it.
Oh my god.
I played 8 on PC, but everyone's like, 8's not good. 7's the one. I'm like, well, it wasn't on PC. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I played Crystal Chronicles.
Oh my god.
That's the only one I've played.
Okay. Well, Square Enix has like all the compilations coming out for Final Fantasy VII Remake and everything, which is crazy. But my fiance actually never played the original Final Fantasy VII either. So I game a lot here on my computer downstairs, and our PlayStation 4 is upstairs. So I would be chilling, watching him play, well, I play on stream like afterwards, but it was fun watching him play through 7 with zero like knowledge of it at all. So that was fun.
Yeah, what sucks for me is I know like the major plot twists. So like,
right. Yeah.
It's different than if I would have played it as a kid not knowing. But at the same point,
Right.
like, I'm not invested in the character, so I'm like, okay, I've seen this plot twist a billion times. Why does it matter? Oh, well, I'm not invested. You know, it'd be different if I'm
Right.
invested.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge. That's the thing, right? It's a huge difference. If
And
you have
I'm curious
some
what
sort
my
of
experience is going to be with
nostalgic vibes.
with the remake, since I don't
Yep.
have a preconceived notion of what Final Fantasy VII is or was. So this is literally a new game for me, and I'm going to be. It's going to be very.
It's also
curious,
different.
It's way different. I've been told. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see, like, because I'm basically going to experience Final Fantasy VII first with the remake. Then
Yes.
I'll probably go back and check out the old one, and then I'll probably end up giving up because I won't like it as much. I'm just assuming. I'm assuming. I don't know. I grew up playing lots of Final Fantasy games, but it's still
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah. But even
Yeah.
like now, I don't really go back and play the old games anymore.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I think it's just because there's so many new games always coming out that I'm always like,
That's the thing. It's just we are so, and I get in fights with people about this. I literally had a girl like call me every name in the book because she was complaining about Genshin Impact. And I
Why?
literally said, like, you don't have to play it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to play.
Like, there are other games. Me, you don't have to play it. Like, you can just not play it.
Yeah.
She
I don't get what the big deal is.
lost it on me. Literally called me all these terrible names, like blocked me on everything.
Wow.
Was just calling, like, just it was so, she was so crazy.
Just because you don't want to play a game.
Because and I understand. I have really big social medias comparatively to a lot of people, and I'm sure me coming at somebody who might, I don't know if she thought I was cool or whatever, but like I imagine me coming at somebody else and being like, you don't have to play the game might, freak somebody out because I'm a pretty straightforward personality. It's just who I am. But yeah, it was very interesting from there. But I'm the type of person that I'm like, yo, there's so many games. There's so much amazing content. We are blessed
Yes.
with
No, for sure.
gorgeous animation and musical scores that are ridiculous and just constant updates and DLC and all this stuff. These companies, yes, they're in it to make money, but at the same time, like, there's so much stuff to keep us entertained. And I get really irked when people like complain about things.
Well, yeah.
So
And
I
it's
really-
like entertainment in general today. I kind of feel like we are in kind of like maybe the possible heyday of entertainment at this moment.
We are so blessed.
So many TV shows, so many movies. Yeah, granted,
Yeah.
lots of different streaming services, and all the money can add up. But the point is, there's so many options, so much content, video game wise, between digital and now we have streaming services as well, and physical games and indie games and AAA and first party and like all this crazy stuff happening in the industry where it's truly something for everybody right now.
Yes. Yes.
And for those out there that obviously, think things are bad, or like what I deal with a lot on my end, it's just like a lot of console war. People feel like they gotta
Fanboys.
put down other platforms to make themselves feel better about what they bought. And I find it interesting because like I own everything. I'm obviously primarily a Nintendo channel. I'm a Nintendo person. I talk a lot of Nintendo stuff. This is a Nintendo podcast. But I talk about everything. I mean, I just talked about PlayStation, how I haven't experienced any of it, but now I have a PlayStation 5 and I'm playing PlayStation games.
Exactly.
I just find the whole industry sometimes and gamers, maybe it's just people in general. Maybe that's really what it is. It's not really a gaming thing. I think people in general aren't accepting of other people that have different opinions and different tastes than their own.
Oh yeah, the world. I think it goes together with everything happening in the world. A lot of people are just not very happy, and obviously the internet is the internet, and it's the
Yes.
easiest place for you to just throw it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times you don't feel or get any sort of repercussions for what you say and do.
Rarely.
So I feel like
Right. And there's also no context to anything either. So you don't, they may have a small an outburst on the internet. You don't know what they went through before that outburst. You don't know what they're going through after the outburst. You don't know why they had the outburst. But
it might
all
be
you see is that
related to
as
what they're talking about. It could just be they're letting out their frustrations in what might be a minor way. Like someone might be yelling at me that Nintendo sucks or this and that. They're like, we had someone on my last live stream talking about how like, oh, Nintendo's not consumer friendly and they're this and they're that and they're this and they're that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not saying you're wrong about anything, but like you're on a Nintendo channel. How do you expect me to respond to that?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna sit here and open fire on Nintendo right now.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying you don't have valid points, but like, why does it matter to you?
And you've
like,
also
play
had
what you want to play. Go enjoy what you enjoy.
You've also had plenty of videos calling Nintendo out.
Oh yeah, I call Nintendo all the time, but
we've called Nintendo out on this podcast.
I mean, to be honest, I probably stunt the growth of my own channel because I'm not fanboy-ish enough.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like with anything, and I feel like a lot of people don't get this, is, if you truly love something or want something to be its best, whether it's like Nintendo or a person or whatever, you don't follow them blindly. You want them to do well. You want them to put out amazing stuff, but you're also there to be like, hey, not a fan of this. Can you kind of not do this? Can you fix this? Can you change this? You input your opinion in a respectful way.
Right.
Because you want them or the being or whatever to be everything you want it to be, right? I feel if you follow something blindly to the point where you think everything is great, it's just not going to be good. And that's why that's why having Nintendo and Xbox and Sony, like PlayStation, is good, because they're in competition with each other. And if there was only one, they wouldn't care because they own everything anyway.
Right.
And they wouldn't grow, and they wouldn't be constantly trying to make sure that they have better stuff for the consumer to buy. So we need competition in everything. Good competition, friendly competition, whatever, so that these companies are constantly like really, really going for it. And I feel like Nintendo knows this, especially like with their history. And like the Wii U and how that was just a hot mess. I believe there was like an article recently, I forget who within Nintendo said it, but they're like, they know that, if they mess up like one more time, it could be the end for them, because it's almost been that way before. Where they do something amazing and then they do not. And it literally
it was Furukawa, the current CEO. He said things like, every year is do or die. That's the way I view things. That's the way we view things internally at Nintendo, no matter how good we're doing. I've been here 20 years. I've seen this company fall off a cliff off of every success we've had. We're trying not to fall off a cliff right now, but, this happens. We have to be careful with everything we do, and we have to keep pushing. We have, game-wise, hardware-wise, we got to keep pushing, which is very interesting because before him, like with Satoru Iwata, rest in peace, and prior CEOs, you never really see them be so forward about it, being like, hey, look, we know we're not perfect. We know we make mistakes. We're trying not to make those same mistakes, but things happen. Nothing lasts forever. Enjoy it while it's here, and we're going to keep trying to make you keep enjoying it for as long as we can.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that attitude. It's like an honest look, internally at what you're doing, instead of always being like, oh, we're good. We're at the top of our game, making more money than ever. We're awesome. Which I got to admit, as a Nintendo fan, it feels like Sony acts that way sometimes when they're on top. Like, we're awesome, we're good, and they get really full of themselves. But that's the Nintendo bias coming out as well. But like, there are some things they said, mostly about the PlayStation 3 era. There are some things they said heading into that were kind of like, so you think you're the king shit, and then you released the PlayStation 3 and watched it flop for the first year. I'm just saying, like,
I don't even remember PlayStation 3.
Shots fired.
No, I'm serious.
Oh, I mean that's okay. They're getting rid of the online web store or the online store here in like July, so a bunch of PlayStation 3 games won't be able to be bought anymore.
Was there? Wait.
Maybe Sony's deleting their PlayStation 3 history now. I don't know.
I had a PlayStation 2, and then I think
Skip
and then
3.
I got a 4. Yeah, totally.
Did you go Xbox or PC, or was that like your hiatus years of college and not?
I think it might have been like hiatus-ish.
years.
I actually got into Final Fantasy, right? And I ended up getting like a PSP and then a PS Vita, and I was playing like Final Fantasy like 1, 2, 3, 4 like on those like while I was in school and working. I remember vividly playing it on like public transit on buses, like playing Final Fantasy like 2, like getting through all the stories on like PS Vita and stuff. So I think that's why. I don't think I ever had any interaction with the PlayStation 3. I can't even recall anything about it, where I was.
My last interaction with PlayStation 3 was breaking mine with a sledgehammer.
Ooh.
Yeah. I did a live stream where I liquid metal cooled my Xbox Series X, and I said if I successfully pull this off, I'm sledgehammering the PlayStation 3. Well, I pulled it off, so I sledgehammered the PlayStation 3. And the only reason I had the PlayStation 3 was because of MLB The Show. Started becoming a thing, and that was like the only baseball game in the world for a while, so I needed a Sony platform to play baseball games. Not true anymore, but some people got pretty mad at me for doing that. Like, there's only so many of those still around. I'm like, all right. I mean, I see it on the internet right now for $40, so I think there's still plenty of them around. I think the world will survive without my one PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it might not.
It might not. It might not. I broke too many hearts.
You're the reason why the world is the way it is.
Oh my god.
Ah, you bastard.
I can't imagine what would have happened if I would have did it to a Wii.
Oh god.
Nintendo fans would have got so. Why is he? I'm like, there's 100 million of these things. What are we worried about?
Your channel would have tanked.
I think I did lose like 40 subscribers off of that. It was
no.
It is what it is, you know. So I guess let's transition into we talked a bit about like new games and old games. Like, what's some upcoming games that we're all kind of looking forward to? Because I mean, we just talked about the industry is in a really great spot right now with so many options and so many games. Heck, new generations of platforms and PC gaming is always relevant. I mean, gaming on phones, even, you know, that's the thing that my fiance loves, gaming on phones. So, you know, what are some, like, Eric, what are some games you might be looking forward to here? I'm going to take the obvious away. Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, that's just
no.
Blanket statement. No. Probably the most hyped game for all of us
obviously.
Combined right now.
Yeah.
No, I love me the Lego games. So the Lego Star Wars coming out.
Reminding me of Luke. I think
it comes out spring.
There's a leaked release date for it right now.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
I just saw it.
It's the last I looked, it was spring, so which would be sometime soon.
I just saw a news article on this today. It was a piece of advertising material at a GameStop.
But I remember watching that, you know, going into the thing, hoping we could play it at E3, but that wasn't the case. It was just a video of them playing it and whatnot, and which was still really cool because the mass openness of the game, and you can go anywhere, do anything between the nine movies. It's freaking amazing. So
yeah, we saw the private demo behind the scenes at E3 for it. It was wow. I honestly, like, I got a little tired of the Lego games over the years because they're really samey. But then they showed this behind the scene. I think, whatever, we both like Star Wars and Lego games. Let's just go check it out. And I came away being like, this isn't just a Lego game. Like, it has some of the Lego game elements, the collecting bricks and all this. But, like, this is like a legitimate, like, open world Star Wars experience that just blows my mind. And I'm a big Star Wars guy, so
okay.
I've been really trying to see when that's coming out. Is there another game you're looking forward to, Aaron?
That was the one I looked up.
That was the big one for you?
Yeah, that was the one that I was looking through the games, and that was the one that stood out to me the most.
Any interest in Mario Golf?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Pokemon Snap.
Yes.
Well, Pokemon
Snap is one of those that I'll probably, you know me, I'll probably end up watching you play more than actually owning it.
Well, what about Mario Golf? I know it's got the RPG elements.
That one's definitely probably going to be a buy for sure.
Yeah, especially those RPG elements. Check out.
Yeah,
like the old school.
Because I was a fan of the original one, and yeah, so hopefully they can not screw this up,
not mess anything up.
But it's Nintendo and kind of Mario sports games, which we all know how that goes.
It's 50-50. Not sometimes more like 20-80. I mean, Mario Tennis was great, guys. Like, but that single player was not.
Well, and I've heard
was not it.
And I've heard the content in that wasn't a whole lot.
No, the gameplay is great. They nailed the gameplay. It's the best Mario Tennis gameplay ever. But the single player mode just ain't it. So I'm hoping they learned from that and made the Mario Golf single player mode. Like, it looks like they did. They made a full RPG, they claim.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Holly, what's some games you're looking forward to?
Okay, well, obviously, right? You guys already said it. Breath of the Wild 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was just crazy that they even are doing that.
I mean, I don't know if I'm surprised after. Okay, so I was initially surprised when they announced it. Like my reaction on my channel, I almost had a heart attack. It was insane. But also,
like, no.
Should I have been surprised? Like, did the game sold 20 million? There's been no Zelda game even close to that. Clearly, they were going to make a sequel.
Yeah.
I'm a huge. So my favorite Zelda is Majora's Mask.
Okay.
Good.
I love dark, sad stories. There's so many like little side stories in Majora's Mask that are just so sad and depressing.
Yes.
And I freaking love it. I love games that just make me bawl my eyes out, like just sadness. Love it. And
because it feels like reality.
Yeah.
Like, you deal with sad shit all the time. So everyone's always like, I go to games for happy, but it's like, but sometimes I get happy by other people fixing their sad shit.
Yeah.
I go to games for sadness.
Explains why you like Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly. Love it. Final Fantasy X as well. Oh, sadness. So Majora's Mask was huge for me. I absolutely loved it. So when I came to the realization that Breath of the Wild 2, obviously it's like the same engine. I'm sure they're trying to get it done pretty fast. Obviously, it's not a year project, right? Majora's Mask was a one-off. You have a year to make a game, see what you can do, and it ended up being amazing. It was crazy. But the fact that Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to be like really dark, I was like,
based on the initial trailer, looks
yes.
I remember saying this is dark as hell. I remember the exact phrase. I'm like, and I never thought I'd say that about Breath of the Wild, because like Breath of the Wild, the original game, like it tries to give you this ominous feeling, but the whole game isn't really that sad.
Yeah, you don't know you don't really experience any friendships with the characters because they're already all dead.
And it's like, this is cool. Oh yeah, I like these side characters, but like, okay, the champions are great, but I'm not connected to them.
Right.
Exactly. So it's a little different. But yeah, I think there's even quotes of them saying like, this is just supposed to be really dark. So I'm totally about that. There's more Octopath Traveler type games coming out within the series.
Project Triangle Strategy.
Yes, that's not within Octopath though. That's the same graphics. That's by Square, but it's not in the Octopath Traveler world. There's actually other games that are already in production. There's a mobile Octopath Traveler game coming out.
I think it released in Japan already, the mobile one.
Yeah, and there's at least one more. There's a series of games that they're doing on Octopath that have nothing to do with Project Triangle.
Interesting.
Same company, same style, obviously. It's gorgeous, but not connected besides that.
Also,
I'm excited
that
for more
company is
Octopath.
the same people who made the recently released Bravely Default 2.
Yes.
So that studio, whatever section of that studio, is really on a roll right now. They're crushing it.
I love that type of style. I'm a huge like farm simulator type person.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Stardew Valley and stuff like that.
Stardew
my
Valley,
God.
that's got to be one.
Love love it. Let me tell you, not something I love, but something I'm extremely angry about is they keep making Harvest Moon games that are like 3D crappy character avatar. They look nothing like the original Harvest Moons, right? Stardew looks like Harvest Moon when I was a child.
Yeah,
I want them to make
that's because the studio that made Harvest Moon doesn't make Harvest Moon anymore.
Exactly. And I'm very angry about it to this day. Every time I see there's a new one, literally like a few weeks ago or a week ago, Nintendo put out a new trailer for Harvest Moon. And I was just raging in my couch. So angry that, again, the game looked like crap. And I just can't wait for the day where Harvest Moon gets what it needs and it looks like Octopath Traveler. Like, I would like that in my life. But also Genshin Impact, okay? I love it. The game, I think, will be like a 5 or 6 year game, approximately. There's 2 out of 7 regions that have been released. The game's only 6 months old, and I believe they're doing a new region every 6 months or so.
Okay, interesting.
Oh my god, the game is huge. The world is huge.
So,
the music is
I was going to mention
perfect.
something. Going back to your Harvest Moon point, it took me a second to look it up because I couldn't remember.
Okay.
The original team making it actually has Story of Seasons that just came out. That's actually like basically exactly what you want Harvest Moon to be, because they just remade Harvest Moon.
Right,
like
it's
it
just
used
not
to be.
called Harvest Moon anymore.
They can't use that name. But that studio came back with Story of Seasons, and I guess what did that just? I think that just came out.
Right.
Yeah, because this is the team they made Harvest Moon, Game Boy, Harvest Moon 64, and then Story of they made a bunch of Harvest Moons before that series was sold. So yeah, Story of Seasons.
But it's not top down, cute little 16-bit sprite. It's still like that weird 3D ugliness. It's like Pokemon. That's
like
not
Pokemon.
it's like Sword and Shield. It's like half done.
It's like a chibi style, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not here for it.
Yeah. You want that old school Stardew Valley style. Yeah. Stardew Valley obviously is right up the alley with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love playing Stardew Valley.
I will say there was one. What was that one Harvest Moon multiplayer game I played at E3? That game was a little bit fun. Now that wasn't your 60-bit, but it was like a collecting competition. I can't remember.
Yeah, but at the same point in time, you were together.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember. It was a really. That was like the one Harvest Moon game the new people made. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. Maybe it's like a mobile game.
And we got a keychain sheep.
Oh yeah,
with
keychain sheep. Unfortunately, it was not a 16-bit sheep. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really picky about like my animations and stuff. I don't know why. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about Breath of the Wild, and I'm excited about Genshin. It was really weird because I feel like as somebody who loves Nintendo and who loves Zelda, and I feel like a lot of people were like this when Genshin released their trailer. They obviously made it look very Zelda-like, very Breath of the Wild-like. And I feel like MiHoYo is so smart, and I can see this now, that they did that intentionally to stir up, like, controversy, because people are like, what the heck is this game? Never heard of it before. And it's a Chinese developer. Like, what do you mean? So I feel like they did it on purpose so that people would be like, oh, what's the Zelda ripoff? Mm-hmm. And then it turned out to be this amazing
Zelda ripoff, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, games have elements that other games have, right? Something works, people copy it, right? Game developers have been doing that for centuries. It's just how it goes. You're not stealing. It's okay. This works.
Anyone who gets mad at Genshin Impact about that, because I remember that controversy, guys.
Dude,
literally, Pokemon Legends Arceus copied shot for shot the Breath of the Wild trailer to hype you up. I know, I get it. You can say, "Oh, that's okay because Nintendo owns the IP." That's fine, but I'm just saying that, let's just be honest. People are going to take advantage of Breath of the Wild being massively popular. That's just
Exactly. And Genshin did that, and they did it extremely well, and now they have made like billions of dollars in 6 months.
Yeah, and when you play the game, guys, I don't know if anyone has. Yeah. I've tried it out. It doesn't play like Breath of the Wild. It's its own game. Very much its own game. It just kind of used the aesthetic and some of the world to kind of get you to be like, hey, let me check this.
Yeah,
like,
get you in there.
Yeah, I gotta see. I want to go get angry at this ripoff, and then you play it. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, you're like,
whoa, hold up a second.
Literally, I was like, this game is great. I like this, and now I play it every single day because it's a freaking gacha game, and you log in and you get things every day. Exactly, you get primo gems every day for logging in, and here I am every single day.
There you go.
Yeah,
but also though.
It's terrible.
Yeah, to a certain extent, though, that could almost get you in trouble, though, too, because, you know, people coming into that game expecting it to be like Breath of the Wild because you kind of, to a certain extent, almost advertised it to be that way. And then when it's completely not, you know, that could turn some people off, and you run the risk of you know, messing with a whole lot of people.
I think what happened with Genshin Impact, because I remember covering it at the time, because there was a lot of people getting mad at them, thinking, man, Nintendo needs to strike this game down. I think what happened is people who tried it out weren't curious to see if it was like Breath of the Wild. I think they wanted to try it so they could attack the game. Mm-hmm. And be like, see, take it down. And then they tried it, they're like, oh, wait, this is not what we thought.
It becomes very different very fast, and it's a wonderful, well thought out game. And like I said, like the music is ridiculous. Like I literally compare it to Square Enix and Final Fantasy soundtracks. I believe in like 10 years people are gonna go back to like the soundtracks from Genshin and have the same sort of vibes that like I get now from like Final Fantasy 10 and 7 and Zelda, even, right? Ocarina of Time. Sure. Like I was even listening, they just put out a new thing last night for one of the areas, like an orchestrated score, and I was like, this is insane. Like this is, literally, it was 12:30 at night, guys, and I was literally in my bed crying. And my fiance's in the other room doing his dailies, and I'm in bed like this on my phone, just like.
That reminds me of
crying.
When Skyward Sword came out, and it was the first ever orchestrated Zelda music by from Nintendo themselves. There's been reorchestrations and stuff, but like the actual game features orchestrated music, and I had a review copy of it at the time. And like, I'm kind of glad that my my now fiance, who I met back then and started to date, that wasn't living with me yet, because I was literally crying to this video game soundtrack, and I'm like, she's not a gamer. How do I explain this to you? That like this franchise that's been there with me since I was a little kid now has like the violins playing and all like this crazy stuff happening that's just pulling at my heartstrings. And like here's Zelda's lullaby backwards, and you're like, what is happening? This is, you don't get it. You weren't there to experience this with me. But I'm like, it's not your fault. Yeah. It's okay. You have things you're probably into too. But some games I'm looking forward to. It's kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of different platforms. So, new Pokemon Snap. Day one for me. I've been waiting for a new Pokemon Snap game since I was a kid.
I love Pokemon Snap, so I'm there with you. Yeah. I played that. I'm a huge like I said, like Harvest Moon and very chill games.
And that's a chill game. It's the chillest of games.
Like taking photos of beautiful scenery. Sorry, I keep mentioning Genshin Impact, but I can't tell you how many hours I've spent just like taking photos. This is great.
I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild, one way or another, has come up in every podcast episode for like. Like the last
since it came out.
Since it came out. You know, so like, there's those games you can't seem to let go. You're always referencing.
For sure.
Yeah. But no, like Pokemon Snap, oh man, I played that so much as a kid. So I'm happy. I'm not a huge Pokemon person, only because even though I'm a Nintendo person, I never had a Game Boy.
Oh, sure.
Okay, yep.
Never had one.
If you didn't have that, it was really hard to get into Pokemon,
I only had my N64. That was it. Well, and Sega and stuff like that. But yeah, so I just kind of skipped out on Pokemon.
I'm totally putting the sound effect in then.
But I got copyright strike.
No, whatever. This podcast doesn't make money off ads anyway, so. It literally, I think the most money out of podcast episodes ever made is like 72 cents.
Woo!
Woo!
Wow. You're rich.
You get like 3,000 views an episode, 72 cents. Congratulations.
Wow.
But there's like
man.
20-minute average view time. Nope, too bad. YouTube's a funny place. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Pokemon Snap. Just takes me back to my childhood. It's a chill game. It's one I could just kind of bust out. It's one of those things where when Pokemon Go became so huge, I always thought it was kind of cool to take screenshots of Pokemon like out the real world. Now you get to do it like in their world again. Really looking forward to that. We have Mario Golf. Talked about that earlier. I'm looking forward to that just because I was really into the old Game Boy one. And even some of like the what's that new mode they did, that speed up mode?
Oh yeah, the rush mode.
The rush mode or whatever. That looked really cool. So try that out. Plus, like I fully admit, guys, I've been playing this game on my phone the last few days called what's it called? Golf something. It's one of those mini golf games. Golf Battle.
And
I just gotta say, I think it's because I'm so excited for Mario Golf that I needed some sort of golf
game.
So
yeah.
I got this arcade multiplayer golf thing going on, and they're supposedly online with this. We'll see if it's any good. I'm very skeptical after the way they handled it online with Mario Party that the online with this is going to be good, but
Okay.
we'll see. Other games, I mean, obviously the aforementioned Breath of the Wild 2. I think it's hard not to at least give it a shout out, even though I'm not going to talk about it beyond that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm just kind of glad to set this list here. And there's a bunch of games I'm really looking forward to. I mean, MLB The Show, just talked about how I owned a PlayStation 3 earlier specifically for it. It's funny, I own a PlayStation now, and now it's multi-platform.
Now you're going to get it for Xbox.
To play it, but I have one anyways. So I still don't know which platform I'm buying that on, because that comes out pretty soon. Another game, this is a shout out to PC, Evil Geniuses 2. Evil Geniuses was a RTS game on PC from like way back in the day, early 2000s, maybe even the 90s. And now they finally have a sequel coming out, and apparently it looks really, really good from what I can see. So I might wait for reviews on it, because I'm very particular with my RTS games these days, because a lot of them, when they make these sequels, these long out sequels to the old games, that end up not really capturing the feel. But at least from the gameplay I've seen, it looks good. Another game I'm looking forward to a lot. We got Resident Evil Village.
Okay.
I mean, I don't play a lot of horror games, but I was sold. The whole Dracula vibe, vampire vibe going on. I'm there. I'm sold. I'm sold.
I'm not a scary game person. Not in the slightest. People are like, play this? I'm like, nope.
Well, that gives you the best stream reactions when you're not into it. It's like,
oh no,
I don't like these games, and the reasons you don't like them is exactly why it's entertaining to watch.
I would not last a day. Oh my goodness.
When you crap yourself on stream,
you become legendary.
Yeah,
legendary.
No, I'm not down for that.
The Biomutant game I've always thought looks really, really interesting. We'll see. I need to see a bit more on that. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
That game for PlayStation 5 is I think maybe the biggest game coming out for it anytime soon. I'm also really interested in Lord of the Rings Gollum. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. But Gollum is a next-gen game that's also coming to Switch, and it's one of the only next-gen games we know is also coming to Switch. So I think it's got delayed in 2022, but
I was like, I don't even know what Gollum game.
Yeah, I
have not even seen that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I watched the opening trailer for it. It looks good, but again, we're not going to see it. It just got delayed, so I'm not sure when we're going to see it again.
Okay.
But it looked really, really good. I have a general curiosity about Halo Infinite. I fell out of Halo a long time ago, but I do have this curiosity about the development of this game, how it got delayed, all the fan reaction, and hating the visuals, and I just kind of have a curiosity about it. I don't know, I own Game Pass, so I'm gonna check it out because I don't have to buy it.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of Xbox with Game Pass. You don't have to buy it, so I'm gonna check it out just because I can. But I just have a general curiosity about that game. Outside of that, it's just a lot of there's a new Age of Empires game in the works.
Oh, nice.
Don't know when we're going to see that. We're supposed to see it at some point this year. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a PC game. They're remastering Total War Rome 2.
Ooh.
So, I mean, Eric knows that game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can like literally lose my life to that one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
There's I still play World of Warcraft to this day, so I have the latest expansion pack. So there's
Oh
always new
my.
content coming out for
Okay.
that. That's definitely a life sinker. I'm embarrassed. I don't even want to say my slash played on that because it's embarrassing how many years of my life I have wasted on World of Warcraft. And most of it was like the early days, back when they had 40-man raids.
Yeah.
But like I've been playing it since 2004, guys. That's when that game came out.
I haven't played it, and I've probably spent years watching you play it.
Oh, dude! And I remember when I used to run raids, so like you'd help me come up with strategies. You don't even play the game, and you're helping me come up with strategies on how to take down the bosses for the whole raid. Like, I don't know if I ever told anyone I was raiding with that I had someone who doesn't play the game helping me strategize to take out bosses.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Sometimes it helps. An outside perspective helps sometimes when you're disconnected from it, you know?
Yeah.
Get rid of your bias over certain people you're playing with. And outside of that, honestly, I think we're kind of in an interesting limbo right now where we have the next-gen systems out. You know, like I think the new Hellblade game that's coming looks interesting, but we haven't seen it since the end of 2019. So there's like a lot of games that look interesting, but I need to finally see when they're coming. Because I hope, like Metroid Prime 4, I'm excited, but I don't know what it is. Because you haven't seen it.
Yeah, everyone's like, where is that? Like, where can we get
Bayonetta
something
3.
for that?
I'm like super excited for Bayonetta 3, but like, when are we going to see it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, Nintendo, really. Out of every company.
Okay, Skyward
like,
Sword HD is okay, cool. We know when
is-
that's coming.
Yeah.
Nintendo's like weird. We don't actually like if people sit down and think about it. New Pokemon Snap, Mario Golf, Skyward Sword HD, Breath of the Wild 2. What the hell else is Nintendo making?
There's a lot of speculation out there, but
Metroid and everything.
I
but
mean,
it's
yeah,
just like,
Metroid. Yeah, sorry, Metroid Prime 2, but or 4. But it's like, like, we haven't had anything really new. And like when you think about like coming, like new Pokemon Snap, okay, that's Game Freak.
Yep.
Okay. Pokemon Arceus, that's Game Freak. There's a different the Pokemon Gen 4 Remix is an outside company doing that. So that's all that takes care of all the Pokemon. Pokemon usually isn't Nintendo internally anyways. And then you have like Breath of the Wild 2, we know about. Metro Prime 4 is by Retro Studios. Mario Golf is technically made by an outside studio. So it's like
and Hyrule
what are
Warriors
the internal
deal.
studios doing? Splatoon 3. That's what they're Splatoon 3. We know about that.
Oh, right. Splatoon 3, yeah.
And that's
I'm not a Splatoon 3.
Like, what's the Mario team been doing?
hey, is there a Zelda game that we don't know about? I mean, I know there's a ton of speculation on like with the anniversary and stuff that, you know, there could be a collection of games, but what if it's a completely different game even outside of Breath of the Wild 2? I mean,
it's a
That'd be
new
so
top-down
amazing.
Zelda game.
yeah. I mean,
I was just thinking that, right? That'd be so amazing because the last one was Link's Awakening, right?
Yep,
Redone.
remade that one, yep.
And then before that was A Link Between Worlds. Was it top down? Top down was the last.
Technically, I'm going to correct you. It was Triforce Heroes.
Okay, fine.
yeah.
People might not like that one, but technically it was that.
Okay, Triforce Heroes and A Link Between Worlds were the two that were like not remakes, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yep.
It was a remake, so they don't put. Obviously, there's a lot of effort that goes in, but not nearly as much because the story's already there. So it would be really, really, really cool if they had like another top-down.
Yeah,
that was like
for sure.
completely new.
I mean, that'd be a complete blindside to everybody because I know there's a lot of speculation of like them just packaging together games and stuff like that. But what if they actually completely blindside us by, here's
and
a
Nintendo
brand new
does
game?
They do that. So
Because, see, we all expect them. I think we're all kind of expecting them to follow the Mario footprint, the Mario path, and how they did the celebration of the anniversary.
I kind of hope they don't. I don't need the 35th anniversary ending and Nintendo takes games away.
Well, right, but you know what?
So
but you know what I'm saying.
Doesn't really want them to go that route, but I know what you mean.
Not necessarily the game ending, but the path of, okay, we get this remade, we get a collection of this, and a mobile game. You know, something, you know, like that formula. Not necessarily the game's ending, but that same kind of formula. I think everybody's kind of expecting and kind of follow that.
Also, when are we ever getting Mario Kart 9?
Oh.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is great, but like technically, I mean, how old is Mario Kart 8 now? Like, when did that come out? That was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like,
Very long.
yeah, we just got Mario Kart live home circuit or whatever, and that's fine. But like, it's not really a full Mario Kart game. It's more like an experimental. Right. So it came out in 2014.
Oh.
Oh
so, like,
my god.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, we're 7 years out from new Mario Kart. Now I get it. 8 Deluxe, it was Wii U. They ported it fine, but
right.
Like, we're kind of
like an actual full-on own game.
9.
Dang, that's. Ooh.
Do they?
I mean, they're doing Smash too. They're doing Smash stuff too, right? But they've only got like 2 characters left. Yeah, they've only got a few left.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if after the few characters they fill this out, they'll announce another round of characters. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
I think they're done. I think Sakurai said there won't be another. But I would love them to stop. Here's what I think's happening with Smash. Like, just to briefly touch on it.
Yeah.
Because Smash is a whole. God, we could talk about that forever.
Right.
Yeah.
So Smash Ultimate, I think, is a really hard game to follow up. Because it's got the biggest roster with the most content, the most stages, ever, best-selling fighting game of all time. Not even close.
If you try to cut anything,
I think like whenever Nintendo's next gen system is going to come, they're just going to re-release Smash Bros. Ultimate and include all the DLC, kind of like they did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yep.
But then, instead, in lieu of creating a new Smash game, I think for that generation, they're just going to say, here is a $40 10-character pack we're working on for that game. Mm-hmm. And that's when they'll bring back adding new characters and content. Because I honestly have no idea how they move on from Ultimate to make a new Smash game from the ground up. I literally, I don't even know if it's possible. Anything they make is going to be a disappointment in comparison.
Especially if they cut anything out.
Because they cut rosters down. Like Sakurai said, this is the only Smash game that's going to have all the characters. Period. Well, okay. So any sequel after this is going to have a smaller roster, and people are going to be mad.
Oh yeah. You already saw that with Pokemon.
That's why I think they're just going to milk Ultimate for as long as they can.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see if they go the Ultimate route with Mario Kart.
What do you mean?
Instead of Mario Kart 9, they go Mario Kart Ultimate, and they bring back.
Well, people have been wanting them to do Nintendo Kart for a while.
Oh yeah.
Just stop calling it Mario Kart, combine all the franchises in. You're already bringing Animal Crossing in. You brought Zelda in. Like, what's stopping you from just making it? And I'm like, you know what's stopping them? The Mario Kart brand is too big.
Oh, yeah.
They've proven they can add these franchises in and not call it anything but Mario Kart.
I think that's also a way to bring the ultimate name into it, too. Because then you can start adding.
Sure.
I think once you kind of add that ultimate in there, you can kind of argue. You can start adding a little bit more. You get a little bit more leeway in adding more characters, different franchises.
I wonder, if they did a Mario Kart Ultimate, would they run into the same problem with Smash now, where you can't really follow up Ultimate with anything?
Oh, right, but
without it being a disappointment. So, if they do a Mario Kart Ultimate, say it has every track that's ever been in Mario Kart, every character plus new characters plus new tracks,
right.
How do you follow that Mario Kart up with something that's lesser?
I don't think
you don't.
You don't. You just keep building
on it. That's the end of Mario. I kind of feel like Smash Ultimate.
It's the end.
It's
probably the end. At least it's the end for Sakurai. I don't think Sakurai is going to do any more Smash games. So
right.
That, and I think that's the whole point. The reason Sakurai put so much time and effort into this, because he's like, this is my swan song for the franchise. That's why
this is my legacy. Yeah.
It's like a legacy game for him. He's going to move on and do other things, which is great. Maybe he'll get back involved with the Kirby franchise. Maybe he'll do something completely new and unique. Who knows? Kid Icarus Uprising, that was him. I don't know. He recently said, ain't coming back. I'm not bringing Kid Icarus Uprising back. I don't know. Maybe he didn't like the game. I don't know. But he said he's not bringing it back. But it doesn't mean there can't be other things he could work on. So I just think there's a lot of different directions they could go with that. But that being said, I think we're going to get things kind of wrapped up in here. Just looking at the time here, I think they were saying good. Plus, I did end up having a couple camera glitches there.
Yeah.
Dang camera.
No.
So, any of you guys watching the video version where you saw it cut out and just show a bunch of game trailers, you'll know why. The camera cut out.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the camera didn't cut out for like an hour.
Right.
And then it just every 10 minutes. Let's cut out. I don't understand it, but I thought I had it fixed. I'll have to keep looking at it. Well, the good news is, guys, Panasonic is working directly with me behind the scenes to fix these camera issues because they agree the camera shouldn't have these kind of issues because their older version of this camera didn't have these issues. So they do agree that their camera shouldn't cut out like it is. So, anyways, it's okay. We'll get it all taken care of. That was a nice little podcast, guys. If you guys want to check out Nintendo Prime Podcast audio-wise, we're literally everywhere that podcasts exist. Just look up Nintendo Prime Podcast. If you're listening to the audio version, you want the video version, check out YouTube. Just look up YouTube channel Nintendo Prime. You'll find it. You can follow me on Twitter at Nindy Prime. Now, Holly Wolf, where can they find you, or do you want to send the fans to?
I am, if you want to follow I'm everywhere, yes.
Still on TikTok after that whole thing?
Oh my goodness, silly TikTok.
I know, we won't get into that.
Social media, it's a grand time. I'm constantly battling with them, but you can find me mostly everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok is all Holly T. Wolf. And then Instagram is Holly Wolf IRL. So I stream on Twitch a few times a week. I'm on YouTube as well, which is Holly T Wolf as well, which is my gaming channel. And I'm literally just kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have like a massive Facebook page that you barely post to?
Well, Facebook, I'm in the middle of completely overhauling it. So I've been spending months deleting.
I was glancing at it and here's a couple posts, but it's like one a month. And literally,
I've deleted like 3 years of content on Facebook because I'm working on getting it monetized.
Okay.
And
Yep.
Facebook is actually more sensitive about female body parts than any other social media. So that's really been interesting. So even a little bit too much cleavage, I've had to take it all down. But I got my channel fully monetized, which is crazy.
That's good.
So it's just a few more things I have to work on. But I have a Facebook page that only has 3.5 million.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, it's huge. I've been there.
that's my original big social media that I kind of blew up on.
I was like, I've been at all your social media. I think that's technically the biggest one in terms of the sheer number of people following.
Yeah, I had a big Instagram and I got rid of it because it was deleted at one point and I made a backup and then Instagram verified my backup and I was like, okay.
All right.
That's fine. So I was like, I guess I'm working on this one now. And I just it was too much. So I sold my old Instagram, which was my bigger one. I was like, I'm just going to put this money towards cosplays. So I made a good little chunk on selling my profile and it's now like a model promo page and
cool.
I'm funding like 4 cosplays. So
nice.
There you go.
I'm down. And it's one less thing to worry about.
There you go.
Right? Yeah, I'm trying to like consolidate here.
So I'll have links to all of her socials, guys, if you want to follow her down in the description. And you guys know how it goes. All of our guests, we do lots of promotions, promoting their content and their stuff throughout the week that the podcast is out. So you guys will be able, on our Twitter, on our Facebook page, everywhere else, you'll see us tossing out stuff. Don't be surprised if you see her Zelda cosplay pop up a few times because it's one of my favorite things she's ever done.
Several new Zelda cosplays coming this year.
Yes.
Many of them. One this spring, hopefully, should be actually shot in like 2 weeks.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm trying my hardest to get through new Nintendo things.
Yeah,
so and Zelda is
just wait until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, and then there's a whole new.
Oh wow.
Well, there are so many gorgeous female characters that I have been wanting to cosplay from Zelda for years. So I hope Breath of the Wild doesn't introduce too many new ones because
that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. I'm doing this character, and then Breath of the Wild 2 comes, and damn it.
That's a huge problem with cosplay. Is my list is ever growing. Right. And new things come out all the time and you add it to the list or you're working on something and you kind of throw it to the side because something new comes out. It's really it's a hectic mess, but it always works out in the end. But I want to do so many cosplays from Zelda. If I had my way, I would just do that. And forego any of the sexy stuff, but that's the stuff that makes me the money that I can then invest.
You got to
like,
go where the
3,000
money's at to do what you want to do. That's kind
Well,
of
yeah, I use that's one last point I'll make quickly is a lot of people don't realize that we do a lot of the sexier stuff because it will make us the money to then fund these things that we want done. Like I did Zelda, like her queen version from Breath of the Wild, that beautiful dress, and that was like $2,000, like all of it put together. So I'm just not throwing around like $2,000 here and there willy nilly. Like it needs to come from somewhere. So I use sexy stuff to make my things that I love. And it happens a lot, right?
Well,
if it was up to me, I just
how people
do that all the
wonder,
time.
you know, like I think when I get complimented on how the podcast looks now and everything, it's like, well, the camera, the microphones, the foam, the table, the stuff that pay for itself. I make other videos that maybe you guys don't like so much because they perform better and make money. So I could do stuff like the podcast, which I just said 72 cents an episode. Like, I get good viewership. But unfortunately, just the way it works, you don't really make much money off of it. So when you see me put up a rumor video or this or that, guess what? Those are the videos that get, thousands and thousands of views that make the money so I can do the content I want to do.
Exactly.
So it's like, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes. And I have fun with some of the stuff, but it's still, this podcast, if I had it my way, this channel would be nothing but a podcast. I would literally just do podcasts all the time. That's my ultimate end goal. I want my channel to be a conversation podcast channel. But there's just no money there.
You have to do the other stuff. But it's not like you hate the other stuff. You still enjoy it.
I still enjoy it, but like not as much as this. This conversation right now is like the highlight of what I've done for my channel all week. And that's just the way it is every single week with the podcast. Well, when we have a podcast. We didn't have one last week.
Right.
But all right, well, thanks for coming on, Holly. It was awesome. Hopefully, get you on some future episodes because I try to rotate the guests in and out. So probably in a month or so, I'll hit you up and be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you free? Hopefully, you don't have another tooth surgery that same week."
Yeah, that was not fun.
I bet. Eric, is there anywhere that you want people to follow you?
I mean,
same old emo 8790.
Yeah, Twitter emo 8790. Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean,
I don't tweet.
You're on TikTok a lot, but I don't know if you have an account.
No, I don't.
I just know he's on TikTok.
I just watch
he's
it.
Sending me funny videos.
I just watch it because it's funny.
TikTok's great. I use it for just scrolling. Oh my goodness, I have so much
You could waste hours.
Yeah.
TikTok is addictive and just like no matter how many dumb videos you see, there'll be like one every like 6 videos where you're like, okay, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
And so you keep scrolling to find that next good one.
Yep.
But all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and hey, we'll catch you in the next episode, which is hopefully next week.
Right.
I don't technically have a guest scheduled yet, but we'll figure it out. Fly by the seat of the pants sometimes here at Nintendo Prime.
Yeah.
All right.